My name is Michael Evans, mayor here in the great city of Mansfield, Texas, and I have the honor of introducing a civil rights legend, that is in Judge Clifford Davis. I want you to know something about this great man. In 1956, he filed a federal lawsuit which actually resulted in a court order for integration of the public schools here in Mansfield. Now, although the threat of violence from white students kept those schools segregated for a good 10 years after that, this is the man who started the ball rolling toward integration. Then in 1959, in the Flax versus Potts case, he won a suit forcing the Fort Worth schools to integrate. He organized also the Fort Worth Black Bar Association in 1977. In 1983, Governor Mark White appointed him to a judgeship in criminal district court, and he continued to serve in that particular position until 1988. After he lost that particular election, he served as a visiting court judge up to 2004. Again, we have a living legend who is present with us. He's also the person who swore me into my first term as mayor here in the city of Mansfield, and I thought that was important because I don't believe that I would have this position without people like him who were courageous enough to lean in and to help the entire community to know that no matter what your color was, no matter where you came from, that we're human beings and that we have something good to offer to the citizenry. So again, Judge Clifford Davis, so happy to have you here today with us, and welcome back to Mansfield.
I'm happy to have an opportunity to share some time with you again, and I want you to know it was quite a joy to be privileged to give the oath of office to the first black mayor of the city of Mansfield.
Well, listen, I thank you very much. And again, I appreciate you. I honestly believe that so many of us are standing on your shoulders. And when I say that we're standing on your shoulders, you know, of course, people would think the African-American community does, but also I would say that it's the way that integration works, the way that justice works. It's not just necessarily for one group of people, but it opens up the door for others as well. Not just African-American, but even for the white community, where we can see and come together and get great things done in our city. So I appreciate you. I really do.
That's one thing that we need to have better understood, that this is a society for all people, and all people benefit when all people are participating to the extent of their ability in the society. You know, part of the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution says for the general welfare. So all of us are responsible for the general welfare of the total environment. And everyone should have an opportunity to expend his or her time, energy, and initiative working toward the general welfare of the total population.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. You know, here you are, 98 plus years young, and you have a remarkable memory, if I should say so. You really do. What was it like in those days where you filing those cases for integration here in Mansfield and of course in Fort Worth? What was the environment like at that time, and why was it important to do that?
Well, of course, we had a segregated society that had been a part of the history of this nation. And it did not allow people of color and other disadvantages to participate and produce to the extent of their ability. They were limited in what they could do and what they could belong to and the jobs that they could hold. It is not understood then, is not clearly understood now, that everyone needs an opportunity to produce whatever his talent and his energy will produce. And everyone has some talent or some energy that they can put in to help make the society a better place to live. My mission has been that everyone should have that opportunity to work for a better society.
And myself and other residents, as we are the benefactors of that today, what do you think? What took Mansfield so long? Why did it take us so long to desegregate back in those days?
It's a part of the culture that they had come through. Okay. You remember when we founded this country and set up the Constitution, we had slavery at that time, so that in the old days we had these practices and attitudes toward minorities, and they were enforced by the law. What we have been trying to do is eliminate those barriers and convince the society that it was in the best interest of the total society that we eliminate those barriers and give every person a full opportunity to make whatever contribution his talent will provide him to make for the total welfare of the community.
What was the atmosphere like? I mean, when you had the audacity to carry this suit forward in 1956, what was Mansfield really like? What was the feeling in the air at that time?
In that time, they simply relied on, we're following the law, and it's the law that we segregate. And we are following the law, and they felt good about that, and used that as their justification. They didn't admit that they were doing it because of their beliefs. But what they don't understand then and don't understand now, these kind of problems impact all of us. It is important to have the concerns of all elements of the community.
Yeah, not just black, not just
all
white,
elements,
everybody. Yes, sir.
All elements of the community need to be involved in fixing what the policy that affects the total community.
And you're talking about including people as opposed to saying to one group, you don't get to be at the table. And that can be any group. Why do you think Black history in particular should continue to be commemorated in this country?
You must know your history in order to act effectively today, so that you don't repeat those errors and things that you made in the past.
Right.
And to plan effectively for tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
That's how important knowing your history is.
Yes, sir.
You know that you don't do this because it produces an unfavorable result. So you know that to make some kind of change so that you don't have that unfavorable result today, and in the future you won't have it. And we need to have Black History Month, and we need to show what they did so we can see how wrong it was and how it limited the total growth and development of the culture of the total population.
I'm a benefactor of today. And of course of yourself and so many others who work so hard to bring about at least the sense of equity. What do you see today? I mean, here you are looking through the lenses of a person who has lived 98 plus years. How are you feeling about 2023?
I believe that those of us who have been in the so-called civil rights movement, what we were doing was we were making a better path along the same routes that our ancestors had laid out, the dirt roads. We have put surfaces on those dirt roads. We are contending and urging the same thing that our ancestors urged. You see, we wanted the right to vote. We wanted the right to own property. We wanted the right to go into business. We wanted the right to hold public office and help and go across the board. We wanted to help make this more perfect union. And let's face it, we have done so. You know, this year, for instance, you got a black governor of Maryland. You've had a black president. You've got 40 some odd black members of the United States Congress. You've got blacks serving in very, very important administrative positions in industry and in elective offices across the nation now. And we're helping to make changes in policy and helping to, as I said, make those roads, those pathways that our ancestors laid out, we are surfacing them and moving the curves and the bumps in the road for the next generation.
Well, thank you so much. And you're a wealth of knowledge. And I just hope that we continue to have enough sense to lean in and listen to what you have to offer. But thank you so much, Judge, for this time. And we appreciate all that you do.